So first of all, I want to thank those of you who sent the exercise to be done. I want to thank Doreen, I want to thank Alex, Jasna, Bojana, Jelena, and Sonia.
Hello.
Hello. So I received seven works from you. So I hope the others are going to send me their work. 7 is a bit short since you're over 20. So you can still send it to me this coming week. Is there any questions concerning what I asked you to do last week? Anyone has some question?
I don't.
Okay, so let's dive into today's lesson. So today we are going to understand the creative adaptation, how to adapt traditional theater elements for digital platforms. We are going to try to understand the limitations of the platform and the possibilities. We are going to understand how to convey an atmosphere in a digital format, because we want to optimize the online viewer experience. We want to enhance the viewer experience. So what are the visual elements for narrative storytelling? And at the end of the lesson, we are going to understand how to create virtual sets and backgrounds. So once a spectator is physically in the theater, he can select which area of the stage he focuses on, what details of the set he chooses to pay attention to. He's in an active behavior, not just watching, but actively watching and listening. All senses are active. The energy of the cast and the other spectators are surrounding him. So what about the viewer behind his laptop or watching on his phone or on his TV? How to keep the audience focused? That's what we want to understand, to try to find. How to make sure the performance is touching an online audience. How to convey the emotion. We need to, as video directors, streaming specialists, to be on top of our game. We need to use cinematic language to be different, to dare using different techniques, to adapt the storytelling for such an audience. The interaction with the director, the technical crew of the play, is key to achieve that and remain in harmony with their visions. So of course we are not totally free to do whatever we want. We still need to be in harmony with, of course, the director of the play. Last week we talked about the importance of working hand in hand with the lighting designer, sound and set designer. Once they implement their vision to the production, our work as video directors is to ensure their vision to be well received by the audience. So we have our tool, that OBS software. Of course, we could be using a normal mixer, but in that case we are using OBS to enable us to twist and enhance some of these aspects. The first one is colors and lighting. Today we are going to see how to use LUTs in OBS. So the use of LUTs and color correction tools in real time within our broadcasting software enable us to easily transform the colors and feels of our visuals. If the production doesn't have a big lighting budget, This technique is handy to transform a rather flat lighting look on stage to appealing visuals following the mood of the scenes. Of course, always, if you still need a good lighting on stage, of course, because the better lighting on stage, the better outcome for the broadcast. But still with the LUTs, we can enhance the colors. So what are these LUTs? I'm not sure of the way to pronounce, but that's the right spelling, the LUTs. So these lookup tables are essential tools in the world of digital image and video processing. They are used to manipulate and transform the colors and tones of images or videos in a systematic and consistent way. Here is a more detailed explanation. So the color and tone adjustments. The LUTs are primarily used for color grading and correction. They allow you to modify the color balance, contrast, brightness, and saturation of an image or video. By applying a LUT, you can quickly achieve a desired visual style or mood, such as making footage appear warmer, cooler, more cinematic or vintage, for example. It also helps to keep the consistency. It's a way to maintain visual consistency throughout a project. For example, in filmmaking, it ensures that footage shot under different lighting conditions or with various camera settings can be made to match seamlessly in post-production. This consistency is crucial for maintaining the overall look and feel of a video. Sometimes we shoot with different types of cameras. Maybe we have on our production 3 or 4 cameras, and then we have 2 cameras of let's say Sony and 2 cameras of Canon. But of course the picture coming out of these cameras might not be exactly the same because the brands are different, the sensors of the camera are different, so the colors will not look the same. So the LUTs can help us to match in real time, thanks to OBS, the cameras. Consistency and efficiency, we have seen. Creative control. The LUTs offer creative professionals, such as us and graphic designers, to precise control over the visual style of their work. They can experiment with different LUTs to achieve unique and artistic looks, whether it's a vintage film aesthetic or high contrast cinematic vibe, a dreamy, desaturated appearance. So as I was saying, we can use it with OBS, but of course we can use it with most of the professional softwares. For video editing or for pictures, so Adobe Photoshop, Premiere Pro, Final Cut, DaVinci, Resolve, they all support the LUTs. So we can easily import and apply the LUTs within these applications. With OBS, the trick is to make sure the LUTs have a PNG or .cube extension file. So that's an image that I shot last week. And we are going to see, I'm going to share my OBS screen now. Let me share that. So those who have OBS open, you can follow these steps. So I'm going to share this, Jack. So now you should see my screen. On my right, I have my picture. So on my left, I have the same picture. You can see that down, there's a plus on the OBS interface. There is a dustbin to remove the selected scene. So right now I am on my scenes, as you can remember. Hopefully you can remember. Just to remember you, on my left is my preview, on my right is my program output. I can fade from the program to the preview. Of course, here it's the same picture, so it does not change. I'm going down to my scenes on the left, and I'm going to show you another preview of the same picture, but with a LUT applied. So let me go back to my original picture. I'm going to click on this icon here, which is the scene filters. You can as well right click and click on filters. Here, I'm going to remove that first. I am clicking on the plus and I go to apply LUT. So you can you can rename the LUT you're going to put. For example, I want to put that Celtic statue. It's a statue of a Celtic man. I'm going to put it in black and white. So I'm going to rename it black and white. Then I can see that I have this information appearing. I can browse on the path, and automatically it opens the folder where your LUTs are. So in OBS, it is on Windows, automatically it will always be on program files. So on your system hard disk, in program files, OBS Studio, data, OBS plugins, OBS filters, LUTs. Now here, what I did is I downloaded some LUTs that I found online. Though they are already LUTs within OBS. But if you just type LUTs online, on Google for example, like free LUTs, you will find a lot of results and you can download different LUTs. So in that case, I'm going to select, for example, the force black and white .cube file. I click on open, and as you can see, it changes the picture in black and white. So if I use my camera, for example, so here I am on my camera, just to show you that it's real time, I am going to select again my side cam on my preview. So I click on my scene filters icon, I click on plus, apply LUT, I'm just going to name it LUT. Okay, I go to browse and then I select the LUT I want. Let's try one of the cinematic LUTs. Open, close, and you see what it does. Just change the feel, a bit of a less saturated look. So sometimes the differences are not so big, but still it creates a different feeling. Is that okay for everyone? You can follow all the process? Yeah, you can let me know. Let me check at the... I see someone is trying to connect again. Let me check on the chat. Okay, everyone is okay? All right, let me continue. We will, so there's a way also to create your own LUTs. Though we are not going to talk about it right now. I mean, I just want to introduce it. We can create LUTs with different softwares, but not with OBS, unfortunately. With Lightroom, for example, and Adobe software, you can create your own LUTs. You can, as I was saying, the thing is you can download a lot of different LUTs online. So you can download and keep on trying them and see what you can do with them. I'm going to change again and try another one. Let's see what we have here. Okay, this one does that. As I was showing you, we can use black and white as well. So there are different types of black and white. All right. Let me go back to the slides. Let me stop the screen sharing. I'm admitting someone else. Let me see. Stop sharing. Okay. All right. So I was telling you can download these LUTs. Here I had just put LUTs to download .cube because remember OBS accepts .cube LUTs. So you can just type that on Google and then you will have results. You can just download some free LUTs. All right. So now, how to convey atmosphere in a digital format?
I beg your pardon, the one to download. Notes dot what?
Sorry, let me put more sound so as to hear you well. Can you repeat the question, please?
The slide you are from, the one you've said that you can download it.
Yes.
What do we type? It wasn't showing clearly the words.
Well, you can just open your Google, for example, and you type LUTS, L-U-T-S, to download. Then you can add .cube, C-U-B-E, to be sure that this LUTs will be compatible with OBS.
Okay, thank you.
So how to convey the atmosphere in the digital format? So this is just for us to think about it right now. We are going to try to understand how we can pull that out. So what I was thinking is sometimes we can let me put a bit of a camera here. Yeah, sometimes you can actually record things prior to the performance. For example, you have your set of scene 1, which is already on stage before the show. You have a lot of things on your set. I mean, you could have a lot of things on your set. You could have, depending on the props and the set design, of course. But you could go with a camera and take details of that set. Very close-up shots of objects, for example. You can take a super wide shot of the set with in different ways. You can make movement with your camera. You can explore the possibilities. But this footage, you can record it and prepare it and load it in your OBS. So as when the show starts, you can introduce your scene, your stage, with a very, very well planned introduction. I believe as long as you don't distort the performance of the cast, you're still allowed in a way to play around with pre-recorded scenes. You can as well think of, let's imagine that the first scene is in a church, for example. You could as well, so your set design is possibly full of these tinted glasses that is in a church, for example, or columns or whatever you have thought of with your set designer, whatever the director wanted. But we are inside the church, right, on your set. Prior to see that, you could as well think of recording a church from the outside. In whatever, I mean, in different places, you can do some location scouting and find a church which depicts your scene. So you can go and shoot an outside scene at the right time, with the right lens, with the right feel. You shoot all that, you start your production with that pre-recorded video of the outside church, and then you cut to what is happening on stage. Possibly the end of your establishing shots is remaining, is in harmony with what is on the stage, of course. So for that, I recorded something last week as well, just a sample of an establishing shot that I'm going to play now. Yeah, that was the idea. So I was imagining that start of a program, start of a performance, and then possibly that last shot could also appear on the stage, be part of the props, for example. Then you can switch now to the live action on stage. So between scenes, we could think of different inserts that would be shot prior the production. Let me go back to the slides.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
The video is done, or you're still playing?
The video is done. Did you hear the sound as well of the video?
Yes, I did. Though I'm inquiring, you might bring in the whole shots if the scene of a play probably is going to be staged in a church, or it might be somewhere else, but we first begin with that at the start of the play.
So that was the idea. I mean, we were talking about how to convey atmosphere in digital format. The other possibilities that we have, rather than just showcasing just in records, of course, it's always amazing to showcase the live action on stage. But we have another way that we can insert in between the scenes. We will not interrupt the performance, but as we change scenes, for example, we could have that for our digital audience, some in-between scenes that are establishing shots to convey another emotion to the story, because of course this kind of visuals, you cannot do that exactly on the stage, right, with your stage design. So on stage you would have, here I didn't follow it with an actual performance, but of course if the play was if a scene of the coming play would be in a church, and you could easily introduce that scene with such establishing shots.
For the digital audience.
Exactly, for the digital audience, because here we are really targeting the digital audience, right?
Okay.
So we are trying to see how many layers we can add to a normal play, or to transform a bit and to see how to make it a bit more emotional and more impactful to the audience. Also, I was thinking for, because sometimes the budget might be a bit difficult for stage design, props and all that. So introducing that way can also be less costly and impactful.
True. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So the establishing shot It can be either a wide-angle view of the story's location or a close-up of a particular object or details. It offers context, sets the film's tone, or in that case, the play's tone, and immerses the audience in the world of the story. What I have just shown you, the example I've shown you that I shot outside and I explained it could be an intro of a play or in between scenes. You can do the same thing on stage. You have your set design ready, everything looks good on stage, you have set the lighting perfectly. You can play around and pre-record your set design and make super good movements with your camera and play it back just before the actors enter on the scene. So it doesn't have to be, of course, shot from outside. It can still be part of the play, of the stage. So all in all, it's always good to establish the scene, to start with an establishing shot, because it's a way to start the visuality of the story. It gives the audience a clear picture of the setting, including where and when the scene takes place. It's all about setting the stage for the show. Shooting and editing a well-executed establishing shot can evoke emotions, build suspense, and capture the viewer's imagination. For example, consider the opening shot of the city skyline in Blade Runner. I don't know if you have seen Blade Runner, but it's a beautiful science fiction film. This establishing shot not only introduces the audience to the world of the story, but also create an unforgettable visual experience. So you can play with these visuals, with the sounds. You can do sound design as well. Start your show with such recording and then jump into the real action on stage. You can as well, as I was saying, shoot the stage as it is, possibly with some sound design, and then as long as you have an establishing shot at the start of the show. So a good establishing shot can take various forms, such as wide shots that showcase the entire scene, aerial shots that provide a bird's eye view, close-up shots that focus on specific details. You could as well have kind of abstract kind of shots, which could reflect emotions of one of the characters. Let's say if it's a monologue on one scene, you could have something which could be kind of a vision of the character, I don't know, something which is more abstract. These different kinds of shots are great for giving the audience a complete grasp of the location. So, of course, not with the last shots I was explaining, but with normal establishing shots, such as wide shots, aerial or close-up shots. By showcasing different perspectives, viewers get a thorough understanding of the setting. So wide shots are among the most common establishing shots. They provide an expansive view of the environment. To draw attention to a specific building in an establishing shot, we have a range of filming techniques at our disposal. Of course, we can do some tilts, we can do some movements, right? We can tilt the camera from up to down, we can pan across the scene, we can zoom in. Wide shots are particularly effective for giving viewers a sense of the physical space of the scene. So aerial shots provide a unique perspective. I still include them here because somehow, still if you identify an outside location, something which could represent, like, let's say if the scene starts in an interior, if your stage design is of an interior, you could depict the exterior of that place. And you could still use a drone actually, because more and more drones are more and more affordable. So you can still play around with an aerial shot. Then close-up shots, while not as common, they can still be effectively used to emphasize the emotions and reactions of a character, draw attention to an object or detail. So same here, we can emphasize something of the set design, something which is on stage that the audience would not see. because it's possibly very small, and maybe the character, as he will enter the stage, maybe it's the first thing he's going to look at, or maybe he's going to pick something on the stage, an object. So you can introduce the scene with that object before, and then you cut to the wide shot, and then the character enters the scene and pick that object, for example. Create a feeling of familiarity between the viewer and the subject. So you can use various close-up shots, like extreme close-up or medium close-up, to create the desired effect. Same here. Let's say that you have, again, I'm still talking about monologue, maybe because I'm doing one. But for example, if you introduce, if on a scene 3 you focus on one character, you could pre-record the eyes of that character just days before the show or hours before the show. You focus on just like a tight close-up on the eyes, and then you open your scene digitally, of course, your broadcast with that close-up. Then you cut to the real action. It still flows within the production. So you could do that. These shots can add a friendly and practical touch to your videos, allowing you to capture the detail you want. So of course, to enhance the viewer experience, here I was talking about inserts mostly. We talked about the colors, the LUTs, we talked about these inserts, these establishing shots that you could pre-record. But of course, the audio broadcast has to be very clear, using different types of microphone. So you can have an ambience mic within the auditorium, such as a boom mic. Then you could use microphone on each of your actors. More and more, these small wireless microphones start to get a bit more affordable. Personally, I got one a few days ago. It's an Holy Land mic, and it's 2 microphones that you can put on the actor that are wireless. So you have 2, and then you have 1 receiver. And this is, just for your information, it's around 180 US dollar or 180 euros. So as you can put the receiver on your camera, on one of your cameras, then you put one mic on one character, another mic on another character, and then you're sure to have a perfect sound. Then you can, of course, the more actors, the more you need these wireless mics, except if in between the scene they could switch. As soon as they go off stage, they can remove it. It's just a simple clip. You can just clip it very easily, and you clip it on the next actor as you exit the stage. Then we could have suspended directional mics if the cast is big. So this, in a theater on the stage, you can see with the technicians. Of course, the audio person will do that for you, but usually we can use suspended mics. And then, of course, we need a device. We need to connect to the device playing back the music, if it is played back, or if it is a live band, live performance doing the sound, or if it's a fully artist, if it's someone who is playing around with sounds off stage, then of course you need to be connected to all these sources. You have one ambience microphone, and you have each source making sound, the actors, the musicians, or the music. You need to be wired to all these sources. Either you connect them to the different cameras, and they all run through OBS, through the software. Either you use an external mixer, sound mixer. All these sources go to the sound mixer. Then your sound mixers go into OBS, into the laptop, and then you receive that sound in your software. So, more visual elements for the narrative storytelling. I was thinking we could imagine we could use name and location tags to help the viewer understand better some elements of the story. So for example, at the start of the scene, we could as well put whatever we want, like as on top of the real broadcast. I mean, on top of our cameras, we can insert whatever we want. The same way I do here. I'm sorry, today my webcam is not of great quality, but you see this is now a tag that is superimposed, so we can do that as well. We could put the location, the name of the location, we could put the name of the person if we want to. And then I want to show you how to do some live keying and masking and then we can discuss what it can help us to achieve for our production. So I'm going to share my screen again. Before that, I will ask you if someone has any question. I am still with my LUT, which is black and white on my other camera. Any question? You're all good? All right. Okay, let me share my screen, my OBS screen. All right. So, here you can see my interface, my two cameras. I'm going to do this. So this is a scene that I downloaded online. As you can see, this is a footage that I found on YouTube. I requested to use that footage for today to show you how to achieve that. So I just put the credit of the person. This is just, as you see, the lighting is not great. I'm going to stop the share just so as you see it in big. So yeah, you can see the lighting is not great, but still we are going to see how we can achieve in real time to remove the background and to place another background. Let me share again my OBS. All right, so this is called wide. So in my preview window, I have the same. I am starting the next scene. So this is now the same with the key. So how did I do that? So here I was showing you that we can click on the scene filters, but here I didn't apply a filter on the scene because that scene is complex. There's a number of elements, as you can see below my preview window, right? You can see that there's lesson 9. That layer, if I remove it, you can see it removes lesson 3, creative adaptation. So I remove it, I remove the I. What else do I have? I have that other yellow thing that I remove. I have this, which is the lady. And then I have the backgrounds twice. So I wanted to let you know for backgrounds, if you need backgrounds, you can go and download for free backgrounds, all types of pictures on a site, on a website which is called Pixabay. I will make sure that when we upload the video, we will upload that video on Monday, the lesson of today. I will make sure I put some links of different resources that you can find online. So Pixabay is a website where you can download some free and share some of your creations and download some free pictures. So I just downloaded a very big picture, 5,000 pixels, because I wanted to be sure I can zoom into that picture. So here we have our background. I click again on the eye, we have our scene with that lady. So I right click on it and I have my filters setting. I click on filters. In my filters setting, I have two filters, color key and sharpen. So remember, to add a filter, I need to click on the plus. Be careful, on the top you have your audio filters and down you have your effect filters. So the effect filters, if I click on plus, I can add, as we have seen, we can apply a lot. We can do a chroma key, color correction, etc. You also have color key. So color key, these are the settings I used. This was a green background, right? So I select key color type and I just selected green. So you can note that you can put blue, red, magenta or custom color. If you go to custom color, you can click on select color and put any color. So let's assume that you have a narrator in your play. This narrator is off stage. And this narrator, there is a green screen behind the narrator. So you want actually to pull that key in real time during your production, because the narrator, if people are inside the audience of the theater, they will not see him. They will just hear his voice. But you could decide to show him or not. But in that case, you would show him. He would be in front of a green screen or just a green close. And then you would put any thing you want behind. You could even put a view of the theater. The narrator could be that kind of god who is commenting on, let's say, what is happening on the stage. Anyway, so let's go back to that. I was saying you can have different colors. You can have green, blue, red, magenta. So let's have the green. As you see, you have different parameters. The first one is similarity and smoothness. These are the most important ones. So you see here, I hope you can see clearly, I'm going to enhance, to zoom a bit on it. I've put similarity I have put it at 702. So if I decrease it, you can see that it just goes to the normal thing. So I put it back to 702. If I put it too much, my subject is going to disappear. You have to make sure that you do not, that your main subject doesn't have the same colors as your background. You have to avoid the color of the background. So use smoothness as well. Here I am at 167. If I go down, you're going to see that the edges of the key is too much, is not smooth. And if I put it too much, again, the subject is going to disappear. So remember, you just go on YouTube, you type green screen actor, for example, and you will find different videos that you can download and try it out with your software. So I am going to close that. So the opacity is just, of course, you don't need to touch on that. Same with the contrast, brightness, gamma. You can experiment, but it's not that important, not as important as the first two. So I close that for now. So this is my white key. We can see that it is not great because we have still some green on the edges, because of course the lighting, the sets was not perfect, but still we continue. The beauty is on the next one. So I'm going to put it on the program window. So the preview is the same. Here I created a new scene called white key cropped. I just cropped, basically I just increased the size of my first shot because we had unwanted elements on the sides. And then the white key that I called OK. So what happened here? What I wanted to let you know is you can import, in one scene, you can import another scene. That's how you can do that. So once you create a new scene, let's say that you have, let me go back to this. We have our wide, so we have done our first key. What I did after, I imported the previous scene into the new scene. Once you click on plus, you can see that, as you know, you can put your video capture device, which is your webcam. You can put a picture, image, but you can as well put a scene. So that's how I did that. I put scene in scenes. So on the last scene, which is white key OK, I am going to stop the share. So remember, the truth is that the footage was not great. So to kind of have a better blend between the subject and the background, first of all, what I did to be sure that it kind of matched, at least the most I could, I applied a slight out of focus to the background. Because remember, with the depth of field, if your background is too sharp, it will look unnatural. So if you download a background, then you remove the green of your person, definitely you want the main character to be sharp, and your background has to be a bit slightly out of focus. So with your other software, I did it with Adobe Photoshop, I just applied a camera blur, then saved again my picture and imported that picture in OBS. And then I applied effects, color correction effects of OBS. So I'm going again to share my OBS. Now, on my last scenes, which is called white key OK, I applied these two color corrections. So if I remove them, you can see how it looks, the original. I just wanted to somehow, because the key was not perfect, because the lighting conditions were not great, and because we are doing real-time keying, I decided to have a greenish touch, a greenish cast to the picture, so as we don't see these problems of green around the subject. And then also to blend better the background and the subject. So you can see these color corrections. I didn't change much these settings, gamma, contrast, brightness. I changed a bit the saturation, but I used color multiply and color add. So color multiply, you can select the color you want. So here I selected that kind of greenish light yellowish green, but I could, if I shift to another color, you can see what it does. It applies, it gives that feel on the whole picture. Color multiply, you can only use that with a color which is super light, which is close to white. Because this is now, for those who use Photoshop or editing softwares, these are called transfer modes. And basically it's as if you're blending your video or your picture with a color. But in that case, color multiply, if I select a dark color, you see I can twist that, and this is the color I am now choosing. Of course, this is what it does. Of course, you might want to have a night look, you never know, but most of the time you want it softer, so you're going to select a color which is very close from white, like this one. So you can experiment with the color correction tools of OBS. So remember, this could be done in real time. This is done in real time. So if you have your subject in front of a uniform color, just a monochrome, you can actually remove the background like that. So this is now the same with a mid shot. I did the same technique. Here you can see that it still looks a bit kind of fake. Then applying some colors blends better the subject. So yeah, so we went from this one to the new one. Same with the close-up, I did the same technique. And this is the result. So you can see in big that, of course, it's not perfect, but at least it's very handy to know that we can use that with that software. All right. So, do you have any question?
I think more practice will be needed.
Yes.
More practice.
True. What do you think? How can we use that for one of our production? How can we integrate it in our show? I was thinking that we could have, for example, let's say we part of our set we have a box. Okay, we have like a tunnel, or we have a mirror. I mean, if we think of Alice in Wonderland or something, we have a character who is just going into another world. We see him on stage, he enters a box or something, and then from inside that box, the viewer which is in the theater would not see him, but now we could do that. We could do that trick, and we could have a green background, we could have good lighting in that box, and we could have a live performance from the actor, and then put any virtual backgrounds in real time. That could be an option.
Right.
What else? I think I'm done for today.
I beg your pardon, on the real time, what do you mean?
What I mean is we can do it in real time. This remove keying, removing the background, this is instant with the software we are using. So you can do it with an actor which is on stage. If your actor on stage is in front of a green wall, or of a blue wall, or of a white wall, as long as the actor doesn't have the same color, you can broadcast in real time that same scene with a virtual background. So if you act, you could show any, you can replace the background in at the same time with the software we are using with OBS.
Real time, like it's happening instantly.
It is, yeah, exactly. It's happening instantly. It is.
And it really happens when the scene is already taking place. Then you
That,
change automatically, so then the viewer doesn't see the one that the actor is on.
that,
Cyril,
that is that is what I have just demonstrated. Unfortunately, I don't have a green. I don't have an actor with me on a green background. But you see, it's the same right now. If, for example, here. No, sorry, not that one. Let me go back to one sample. You're seeing that right now.
Can you try it on yourself? Because let us say you are the actor, then can
Yeah,
it
but
work?
yeah, it can work. First of all, I'm going to show you. I mean, I don't have a green behind me. You see what I mean? So
So I'm going
I cannot show you
have
exactly the
background.
same.
something
Yes,
like, I have something to say.
Yes, please.
Like, let me say it's like a monologue, and somebody is talking about maybe the beauty of cities. Let me say you can say New York, then you can speak about Kampala, then be like Johannesburg. Then I
Sure.
get moving backgrounds of maybe moving or static of those cities. So something like that. You mean something like that?
Sure. Yeah, that's a good example. You can even think of props. Imagine you have your stage. Then you have plywood. This plywood is painted in green or blue. Then in between the scenes or at any time, it can even be kind of comic. Okay, any way you want to direct your play, but you can just change the color of the background on stage, right? Then once you do that, the actor on stage, what is behind him can be replaced instantly, and you broadcast it instantly with what you were saying, with cities, with different, with the footage you want, basically.
All right. Thank you.
Am I screen sharing? I am not. So I'm going to screen share again to show you another tool. This is, so what you're seeing here, I have a front cam scene. This is a front camera, right? If I remove, look, you see that? Now I have just removed myself, right? So I go into my filters. I applied some filters on the front camera, which is the camera, which is my webcam, right? So I am going into filters. I right click on front camera, I left click on filters. This is the original picture of my webcam, right? So what I did, I just applied a small color correction and then I applied the mask. When I click, so when you click on plus on your camera or on whatever you want to, these are your effects. You have image, mask, blend. So image, mask, blend. You select your alpha, you select your first setting is type of mask, right? So I selected the type I've selected, alpha
Cyril,
mask.
you're sharing your computer. You're just sharing your webcam.
Oh, sorry. Am I sharing now?
Yes, you are.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Let me restart. So I am in my front cam scene. I have different layers. On my left, I have my preview. So you see I have all these elements. So I can remove the eye of of my camera, right? I have removed the camera, I can put it back. As you can see, my background behind is just plain orange with a bit of darkness in the middle. So, once I right-click on my webcam or camera, it can be either, I go to filters. I'm going to resize this. So in my filters, you can see I have two effect filters. I have color correction. If I remove it, that's the way it looks, right? This is the original picture of my camera, of my webcam. So I apply my color correction to give it that look. I apply this image mask blend. Again, these filters, you just have to click plus below and select the filters you want. In that case, I selected image mask blend. Image mask blend. The first setting is type. You have to select the type alpha mask, alpha channel. Then you go and browse and select a picture. Now that picture, I did it with Photoshop. It is just, I used white. The picture was full of white. It was the same size of my camera. In that case, Full HD 1920 pixels by 1080 pixels. I had a monochrome, a white monochrome. What I did is I just created a circle, a kind of circle like that, with one of my tools in Photoshop. The selection tool of Photoshop, you can create different shapes, right? For those who know, you could use another software. You can create the shape of a round or an ellipse, and then you remove everything except the middle of your circle. So with Photoshop, you will have just a circle or an ellipse shape, and then the edges will be totally transparent. Then you save that picture in PNG and you import it in OBS on your image mask blend. Once you select it, that's what it does. I want to try to share something.
Excuse me, can I ask the question, please?
Yes, please.
In which format you save the picture from Photoshop?
You save it in PNG.
PNG, portable network graphics. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. It is one of these formats where you can keep the transparency of your picture. Same thing with what you see on my screen, lesson 3, creative adaptation. That could be a PNG. In that case, it is an animation made with After Effects, which was saved in QuickTime format. QuickTime 444 with alpha channel. Then you just import it. You see, oh, okay, I'm still sharing, right? So you see here on my scenes, of course, you have to make sure that things have an order, the right order. As you can see, lesson 3, if I put that layer, I can drag and drop it below. You will not see it anymore because it is below another layer. So of course, the order of your layers matters. So now what we could do, just as a tryout, I don't know how it's gonna look because, but we could try to key the white behind me. So I am going to my front camera. My front camera is the third layer, right? If I remove it, we can clearly see that it's my camera. I right click on it and I go to left click on filters. I'm going to add a new filter, which is a color key. And I'm going to name it key white wall. Color key type. I'm going to select custom color. I'm clicking on select color. I'm going to select white. I am going to increase that. Now, of course, I am too close to that color. But basically, that's what it does. So that's what I was explaining, because I don't have a green screen right now. And the color of my face is too close to the color of the background. So that's what it does. So let me remove it. We could try to select a color closer to the actual background, so maybe a bit closer to gray. You can, as you can see, you can just play around with it. You can even click here to select the color you want. So you can experiment. But of course, as I was saying, my background is too close to my skin color. So feel free to play with the settings. So here I could put a new background. I click on plus. I go to my, let's say that I want to put a media source. I'm going to look for a background. Okay, I have that one. I load it. It is on top, so it's covering all the scene, so I have to put it below. And here I am. Right. Let me remove it. Okay. Let me stop the share. Any questions?
I have one small one.
Yes, please.
Yeah, is it possible that I can try it on my phone, then I use the computer later on?
Yeah, so actually I was talking about cameras all along, but you can record anything you want with your phone. And use some of these elements recorded as virtual backgrounds. You
I
could,
beg your pardon, I wasn't hearing, the network was off.
I was saying that you can record something with your phone and use it as a background that you can, for example, you can record, let's say, the city, and then you transfer it on your laptop, you import it in OBS, and then you can use it in OBS. But remember, you cannot use OBS with a phone. So in that case,
Yeah.
the phone,
It did download.
you can only install OBS on Windows or Mac. You can download OBS on your phone, but you cannot install it. We are you really need a laptop to use that software. So in a creative way, your phone can be used to record things that you can at a later stage use with your software, OBS, but you cannot use OBS on the phone.
Okay, thank you.
I wanted to share some of the works I received during the past few days. There were some very good cinematic views, cinematic visions of different scenes. So I wanted to share with you some of them. I am going to screen share. So this is Alex who sent that. I don't know if Alex is here. Is Alex here today? Anyway, that was his vision for a raisin in the sun. So what I liked was at the end of the scene of that page, he wrote global visions such as color palettes. I'm going to zoom a bit on it. So you can detail for each action of the actor on stage, you can detail what types of shots you're going to do. But you can as well add cinematic directions at the end, such as what he wrote, like the color palettes. So remember, you can intensify with the LUTs, you can intensify the look of the stage. Then you can think of sound design as he did, and then camera movement, static shots for dialogue, panning shots for actions. We also add a very good one by, sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce well the name, Lazarevich.
Hello, Bojana.
Oh, yes. Thank you for sending that. So what I liked is again, the vision at the end. You can detail all your shots, but this has to be, you need to explain the meaning of that, yeah? So it was a simple setup with 3 cameras, and as you can see, Alice needs to make an important decision, and it represents that was about Alice in Wonderland. So she needs to make an important decision, and it represents the key moment of the transition from Act 1 to Act 2. So you chose to use 3 cameras to effectively capture the decision-making process and the key moment of entering the door. So you decided to end with a close-up, which is an impactful shot. And yeah, that was well thought.
Thank you.
And then Jelena.
Yeah, Yelena. Hi.
Yelena. The idea of pre-recording the entire performance That was very well thought. Because you never know what is going to happen during a live show. You can always have some technical challenges. And that sort of having a kind of security camera feel, a surveillance style shot in that was very well thought. Pre-recorded footage that can be used to maintain the security camera perspective during technical problems. So it's true, we don't need to always have good looking pictures as well. We can play around with I was thinking again about the question of a phone. I know that you can screen share a phone. I need to do a bit of research, but we could think of probably a character having a phone on stage, and looking at his phone, he receives a phone call and he starts chatting, he starts talking to the person. Probably we could receive that signal or pre-record that conversation, or possibly the person who is talking to him from the other side, and we could intercut with the live action on the stage, the person talking, let's say that is on WhatsApp or on a video call. So we see him on stage looking at his phone, and then we cut to the character who is talking to him, meaning a pre-recorded video. That could be a pre-recorded video. So, but yeah, the use of security camera was very well thought, and all the shots are well detailed. So for those who have not yet done that, please, we really need to see how you can pull out a cinematic vision.
Is this an example of the cinematic one that you talked of last week? I'm not understanding the whole script.
Okay, it's true, I didn't read the whole pieces and all that, but I just wanted to emphasize the fact that when you're doing that exercise, you have your screenplay, you have one page of your screenplay, right? Let me share it again. So you have your one page of a screenplay, then you add a column on the right, or you add notes on a separate document. For example, here, the scenes introduce the younger family struggles and aspiration. So the screenplay is on the left, right? The living room, morning. The room is cluttered and warm. So while you have the dialogue of the character, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make us proud. So now, Alex explains that he's going to use a medium shot of Walter, emphasizing determination. He selected the camera angle, slightly low angle. For example, if you use a low angle type of shot, usually you make your subject look taller and more powerful. So it can be used to depict someone who has a lot of power, or in that case, who has determination. So you have your screenplay, you detail the shots, how are you going to shoot these dialogues or these scenes, and then you can add a direction. How are you, something complementing the shots you're going to do, which can be about the colors, the look of the picture, of the video. You can even write notes about the sound, the lighting, the camera movements. So that is somehow what I was expecting, and that was very well done in that case. You can even, I've not shown you all of them, but you can even do a kind of storyboard almost. I mean, you can you could draw the cameras and show the angles of the cameras to have a more clear view of where the camera, which Where is the camera in the venue? Is it on the side, on the right side of the stage, on the left side of the stage? So you just need to find your own way to express your cinematic vision. That's the whole point. How to remember during the show how to shoot the show. So once you analyze your screenplay, the screenplay of the play, you write some notes on the side and you start to think, how am I going to shoot? Which angle of cameras? Should it be an establishing shot? Should it be a mid shot? Should it be a close-up? Should it be a low angle shot, high angle shot? Should there be a movement? Should there be like a soft movement of camera around my subject? Should it start out of focus and slowly comes into focus? Should it zoom in up to the eye of the subject? So you're going to detail the type of shots you want at the specific time of the play. These shots, you're going to share them with your cameraman, and you're going to do rehearsals with your cameraman and with the whole cast of the play. You will have the full crew and cast performing during rehearsals, and with your cameraman you're going to make sure that the shot you wanted at that time will be achieved by your cameraman. And you're going to go from this shot that you wanted to the next one you wanted, achieved by your other cameraman. You're going to share your notes with all cameramen. Of course, you're going to discuss with the play director, with all the creatives, once you finish your cinematic vision, or during creating your cinematic vision. And then you will also, do what we have seen so far. Any question? So I want to know, everyone managed to download OBS? Everyone has, I want to know the people who do not have OBS and who have challenges with installing it, or... I hope everyone has installed it, and I hope you can try out what we have seen today.
I've not yet installed, but hopefully by the end of that day I'm going to, because I will need some assistance to help me download it. Where I wanted to download it, the space was less, so I opted to wait, put it elsewhere.
Okay, just make sure you download it, install it, and because you need to install it and you need to train with the software to be able to achieve what we are looking to achieve.
Okay.
Yeah, same if you don't get on the side, and I'm planning by the end of the day, I'll also have done.
Because now the longer you delay, the more you will be lost with the lessons. And also I cannot know if you have assimilated the lessons. So any thoughts, any suggestions or remarks about today's class?
Yeah, so that OBS, just a question. Can I get that OBS directly from online, or there's just a specific web that I should go to?
OBS, we have already shared the email to, I think, where we can find it. Let me just share my screen. Let me just go here. If I go to Google, OBS Studio. Okay, my computer is in French. Just type OBS Studio, and then the first result on Google is to download the software, yeah? That's as simple as that. It's free, and that's why we are using this software, because it's free. You do not have to buy it. And it keeps on having updates, so it's more and more powerful by the day. All right, I think I am done for today. Thank you for following the lesson. If someone has a last question, maybe. Okay, if not, I will email you tomorrow. Thank you too for following. I will email you tomorrow I'm going to think of an assignment for you. I really want, I only received, let me just cross check, but I only have 7 people who have done their cinematic vision on 1 page of a screenplay. And for the first assignment, I only have 8 people who've sent me a video. And I see every time you're around 20 or more. So you need to do these assignments. I think let's just focus on that for these coming days. Before next lesson, I need all of you to send me the first 2 assignments. For the others, you can just try and what we have done today. You can do some experiments. All right, thanks again. I wish you a great Saturday and a great weekend.
Thank you, you also. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for a good presentation.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
Great. Lesson. I have learned a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
Vale muno.
Kale, c'est bon. By the way, I will be back in Uganda on 30th of September, so I'm very excited.
Okay,
I can't
very
wait back.
to meet you. We do practicals.
Yes, please.
Yes.
And don't forget to reach Fort Portal.
Yeah, I shot a lot of things in Fort Portal. I have a drone and I love shooting nature, and so Fort Portal is amazing.
You can pass also our Kiso.
Oh yeah.
It's a nice place.
I'll be happy
All right.
to host you in Fort